Your friend asks you to help move this weekend. You immediately say yes, but here's what's happening inside your brain. You never actually decided. You just couldn't see no as an option. And toxic people know this. They understand your brain better than you do. They know exactly which words to use to make you say yes, even when every part of you wants to say no. In the next 5 minutes, you're going to understand why you can't say no, why guilt erupts in your chest when you try, and how to finally break free from people who exploit this weakness. This all starts in childhood. Most people who struggle with saying no grew up in environments where love felt conditional, where being useful equaled being loved. You were praised when you helped, ignored when you needed. So your brain learned an equation. If I say yes, I get love. If I say no, I'll be abandoned. Fast forward to adulthood. Someone asks you for something. Your brain doesn't think about it. It just activates that old program. Yes equals love equals safety. The request bypasses your logical brain completely. It goes straight to that part programmed in childhood, and by the time you realize what happened, you've already said yes. Your mouth moved before your mind had a choice. This happens so fast that you don't even realize you had a choice. You feel obligated. You feel guilty saying no, so you comply. You say yes, and then you resent them. You resent the person who asked, even though they didn't force you. But that's the trap. You didn't actually choose. You just couldn't see no as an option. Now here's where it gets darker. Toxic people recognize this in you. They see someone who can't say no, someone who feels guilty when they set boundaries, and they weaponize it. They use phrases like, if you really cared about me, or I guess I can't count on you, or after everything I've done for you. These aren't requests, they're manipulation. They're triggering your guilt. When they say these things, something activates in your brain. It's your prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks about morality and obligations, and your amygdala, the part that processes fear. Your brain hears, after everything I've done for you, and translates it as, you will be abandoned if you refuse. And that feels like survival is at stake. So you say yes, not because you want to, but because your nervous system is in threat mode. Toxic people don't need to force you, they just need to make you feel guilty. And once you say yes out of guilt, something dangerous happens. You create an invisible contract with them. That contract says, I will sacrifice my needs for your comfort. I will give more than I receive, and I will feel guilty if I ever try to change the terms. And they will remind you of that contract over and over. Remember when you said you'd always be there for me? I'm calling in that debt. Here's the psychological trap that keeps you stuck. You say yes out of guilt. You help them. You feel resentful, but you can't tell them you're resentful because that means admitting you didn't want to help, and that feels selfish. So you stay silent. You build resentment, and they take it as permission to ask again. The relationship becomes a cycle. Request to guilt, to yes, to resentment, to silence, to emboldened request. Your brain has been rewired. When you try to say no, your nervous system literally goes into threat mode. Your amygdala fires up. Your heart rate increases. You feel physical discomfort, so you retreat. You say yes instead, because yes feels safer. This isn't weakness. This is neurology. Your brain learned that compliance equals survival, and now it's protecting you by forcing compliance. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Staying stuck in this pattern is also survival to your brain, because at least it's familiar. Saying no feels like jumping off a cliff. At least saying yes keeps the relationship intact. Toxic people understand this. They know you'll choose the familiar pain over the uncertainty of setting boundaries, so they keep asking, keep pushing, because they know your brain will protect the relationship at the cost of your well-being. The first step is understanding that saying no is not selfish. It's not abandonment. It's self-preservation. It's telling your nervous system, I am safe, my needs matter, and I can disappoint people and still be loved. Saying no to someone who exploits your guilt is actually saying yes to yourself. It's the most loving thing you can do, not for them, but for your own survival. So the next time someone uses guilt to make you say yes, pause. Feel that discomfort in your chest and ask yourself, am I saying yes because I want to? Or am I saying yes because I'm afraid of what happens if I say no? That question is the beginning of freedom. Subscribe to Nova for more uncomfortable truths about psychology, manipulation, and how to reclaim your power.